Here's some of the sea glass that I made in the tumbler just this week. And let's wrap it. 22 gauge silver. Let's take a lot. What's a lot? I don't know. Let's take 3 feet. What's 3 feet? It's like a meter. Let's do that. Let's cut it. I love cutting wire. It's so fun. Let's go to the middle by putting our 2 ends together. There they are. Just where you thought they'd be. And whoosh, watch this. Boom, look at that. We get this end like this. Oh, it's so cute. Squeeze it, pinch it, but wait, there's more. Let's go back to these 2 ends. Remember those 2? You remember them. Let's marry them to this little loopy end. So now we have 4 strands. What? 4 strands? That's crazy. That's too many strands. Well, I agree with you. It's too many strands. I don't know what we're going to do with this, but let's figure it out. Let's make a loop right here. That'll be our top bail, right? And then let's twist it. Now, I wish I took more wire at this point, but let's see what we can do with this. So we're going to put this right like this. And this is how we start out. This is Granny in the kitchen. This is her in her big dress. This time it's a nice crystally clear off-white dress. But she's coming in like, hey, you guys, are you going to help me with the dishes? I guess not. So she's going to start wrapping her arms around herself to show her displeasure. And let's see. Ooh, what's happening here? Let's get these, try to get the 4 strands separate from each other, right? And try to get them, you do that by pressing them flat against the piece, but don't overthink it and don't try too hard, because if they cross each other or if they, I'm pressing it flat with my fingernail, but if they're not always flat the way you want, just don't worry too much, let it go. All right, so these are coming around like this, and they're gonna come right like that, and fold like that. See that? See, now Granny is like, she's folding her arms in displeasure, but this is coming up around here, and watch this. Bring these together, keep them flat, keep them separate right there. We want them separate, but then we want them together right here, and we're gonna twist them a little and then start wrapping them around, holding everything tight. We're gonna wrap them around and give Granny a scarf. Maybe she'll be happier if she gets a scarf. She won't be as displeased that nobody's helping her with the dishes. So, see that? Look at all those strands, so pretty. Look at that. There we go. All right. Folding her hands in displeasure, but we're giving her a scarf. That might make her feel better. Now we're gonna fold over here, and all these strands right here, see them? We're gonna cut them right here. Careful, close your eyes, or make sure you're wearing goggles, because that shoots. And then we're gonna fold these towards the little scarf we made, and then pinch them all down into the back of the scarf. Now, they're not gonna pinch in just perfect yet, because we have more to do. That's fine. I'm gonna come with this. With this set here, see how pretty that looks already? Granny's folding her arms in displeasure, but it looks pretty. And we're gonna do a swirl, actually not swirl, just a curve. Do a curvy curve, and then we're gonna do another curvy curve like that. And that's pretty much it. Now we're gonna separate all these. Now they might not want to be separated, so let's, we'll leave them like that. And we will fold again, just enough to get up to the top. And any less wire than this and we would be in trouble. Okay, and again, we're gonna come around here and start doing another scarf. Give Granny an extra tight scarf, make sure she's very comfy. And I'm gonna pinch these 2, make them really tight. And let's see, where can we tuck them? first let's move these where we want them. Kind of spread them out like this. And now this one is kind of falling off, so let's get it back. Okay. We're going to pinch them right in here. And we're going to have to cut them. So those two little loops are going to be gone, but that's okay. Again, close your eyes. One more cut. There we go. Now, take those, fold them in, fold them into Granny's scarf. Now, if you had more wire, you could wrap around her face a few times, and that would really give you like a much better, more room to tuck her in, but that's okay. We started with not quite enough wire, but we're gonna make it work because we're amazing. I don't know why, but we are. We're just amazing. We're gonna fan this out like that. So these guys are gonna be all separate. See that? Fan that out. And oh, there's two. They're supposed to be reversed. This is where it's kind of important to have them all lined up just a certain way because it looks better. There we go. Now, they're not going to hold their shape just yet. We need to give them a little bit of a crimp because they're kind of sticking out too far off of the stone or the glass. We want them a little tighter in there. Okay. And we're going to fan these out too. Right? And therefore we need to crimp this one too. Now, crimping them not only pulls them tighter, but it gives us something to grab onto because we're going to get some thinner wire and kind of tie all this together so it's much more strong. Because right now it's pretty strong. You pull on Granny's head and her dress does not separate from her. Terrible. Why would you do that to Granny? What a horrible thing to say. You pull on Granny's head and try to make her dress fall off. That's a horrible thing in so many ways, but that's what you got to do to test your piece to see if it's strong enough. So now it's looking kind of cool, kind of fun, kind of whimsical. It's kind of cool how you can see the back coming through. But these pieces here are all like not completely secure because you could rub against them and snag them and this whole thing will come undone and the glass will fall right out and Granny will get really mad at you. No matter how hard she crossed her arms, she will not be as mad as she will at you for ruining the piece that she is a part of. So I don't like how this is sticking out right there. I'm just going to tighten that a little bit. A lot of this could be avoided if I had just taken an extra foot of wire, but live and learn from my mistakes. And I don't like this one either. It needs to be tucked in a little bit. We'll pinch that a little bit more. Okay, now that was 22 gauge. Let's get ourselves some 26 gauge. This is the real tie it up stuff. And let's see, let's take about a foot and a half because we never take enough, right? So I was going to say a foot, but let's take a foot and a half. So like half a meter. And this stuff. And what we want to do is tie in all this stuff together so it's not bouncing and it holds its place. So that's why it's important that each of these had these little divots. So now we can grab onto these little divots with the thin gauge. So let's take this and thread it through. Now, if you want to be really meticulous, I mean, if you want to do the quick version, you can just thread it through that whole bunch and pull it tight, and then just thread it underneath that whole bunch and then pull it tight. But let's really give Granny some time. We've been really rude to her. So let's come to the middle of the wire and let's really take our time. We're gonna we're gonna wrap around each of these strands individually. Whoops, this wire's kind of bouncy. Wrap around here. So we'll pull that through. Careful, pull it through smoothly so you don't get a kink. The wire will try to go all over the place. You put it where you want it. See how I'm moving it with my finger? I want this to go right there. Stop moving on me. I want it right in that little divot, okay? Once you get the first one, it's a little easier. Get that right in there, okay. Now, I'm gonna leave this one aside for now. So this one, now I'm gonna wrap it to the next one. I gotta do it tight. I'm gonna go under here and let it come down into the next one. Grab the pliers if I need it extra tight. I'm gonna do next one. Pull it tight. And the next one. Okay, now I'm going to take these two, put them together and pull. Pull really tight and twist. Because I want to get some strength going. I want to pull so these don't keep bouncing around. I want them to stay where they are in the beautiful fan formation. And now we're going to, and we still only need one strand, so we'll put that one aside again. And we're going to do the same thing and weave underneath each one of these. Now, if you did such a good job making the wire tight already, sometimes it's hard to get this thread underneath it. Sometimes you get your fingernail under there and lift it a little bit until you can get the thread under. And also, sometimes the thread doesn't go where you want. Be patient. Give it a little hook if you need to, so after it goes under, it pops back out. It doesn't keep just sliding under other wire. And, oops. And eventually, you'll get the hang of it, and it'll go from being frustrating to being relaxing. Now, you can always change your mind. These are sticking out too much. So I'm going to go under the whole lot like that in one curve to try to pull them in real tight, bundle them basically. I'm bundling them together, like bundling your home and auto insurance. So, boom. See how they all pulled tight? Now over here, they don't move as much. I'm pushing on them and they're not moving. Now this one is still sticking out more than I want compared to the others. So I can still go back and crimp this again. See that? Now it's tighter. And meanwhile, these are up here. Now watch. Check everything. Everything tight, everything tight. This is tight, this is tight. This is all tight. It's not moving. It's not going to get wonked out. If someone's wearing this as a necklace, you've got to ask yourself, if it gets rubbed back and forth as people are hugging the person with the necklace, because that's what often happens when someone wears a beautiful necklace, everyone wants to hug them. Is it going to get pulled off of the stone? Is the stone just going to fall apart? And the answer is, if it does, you got to strengthen it. You can't give it to someone or sell it until you get it strong. So this tightened all this up, pulled it tight. It looks like a big zigzaggy spiderweb mess, but it all has its purpose. So now we have these two strands. We're going to bring them straight up, maybe twist them a little more, get them together, bring them straight up. And now watch this. We're going to scarf again, but this time as we come around the scarf, and we have a lot of wire. We gave ourselves extra wire because we learned from our mistakes. And we're going to come, and this thin wire kind of fits anywhere in the scarf. But now we can wrap around and around that back part. See where those were kind of tucked precariously, like they could pop back out? Well, now we're going to give them some extra wrapping to hold them tighter. And we're going to go up higher on Granny's face. That scarf's going to come up all the way to her mouth almost. So she's going to feel nice and warm. And then when we feel like we've gone up high enough, I don't like to go higher than halfway up the loop, this loop, which is Granny's face. And we're just about out of wire, so we timed that, or rather we sectioned that out pretty well. And cut it halfway across the loop. And again, tuck in these two sharp ends, just kind of bend them towards that little bowl formed by the scarf, and then shove them down deep in there, pinch them down deep in there. Make sure they'll never come out to scratch anyone. And the whole piece is now tight and secure. Feel it, grab it, it's strong, push it from any direction, it's not moving. Okay? And there we have a sea glass pendant. Now, you can turn this way, 1/4 turn, and put let's see how it looks if we turn it. Ooh, not bad, I like that, right? And then we just put our chain or cord through it, or we can keep it this way, the way it was, and put some jump rings and then connect our cord and chain. It's whatever you think looks better. It's up to you. Do turn it this way. Please get your fingernail in here and fan out these loops so that it looks even cooler. There should be 4 of them in there. There we go. Get them nice and fanned out. That's kind of cool, right? Yeah, it has its own appeal, kind of a look like that. So there you go. But I actually think I like it better like this.